Hello Virgo, and welcome to your monthly horoscope for September for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you some of the broad themes to look out for, particularly relevant to your sign. But stay with me, I will then dive deep to give you all the key dates and influences right throughout the month. Now this month begins with the Sun in your sign, and that gives you an opportunity to assert your individuality. But that's going to be boosted hugely on the 5th when Venus moves into your sign. Now in technical astrology, Venus is said to be in full in the sign of Virgo, but it gives you an opportunity to think about your personal presentation, your style, your approach to fashion, and if you are someone who's particularly interested in the arts or as a creative, a great chance for you to shine. And of course, there's been a lot of energy this year in the 9th house, which has been making you quite restless and needing of change. Now, if you are locked in a situation as it feels, where you have a lot of obligations and responsibilities, but not a lot of options to change things, that could prove a little challenging this month, so I need to tell you about that. And Neptune's also particularly important around your relationship situation. But later in the month, despite the fact that your ruler Mercury begins the month in shadow, goes into retrograde on the 10th, moves back into your sign on the 23rd within the retrograde, there is on the 25th an opportunity for you really to get on the front foot and have actually a real slice of fortune. So I can't wait to share that with you too. If you are wanting to embrace more serious astrology and rise above this zodiac forecast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you a roadmap that can guide you for the rest of your life, help you to identify opportunities, but also see patterns that may have made at times your life more challenging and learn how to work around these. But in my special offer of 30% off, if you order this year, I'll give you your year 2023 forecast within this package, but also the rest of 2022 free. Please see the link below. And finally, if you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. If you've already done so, thank you so much for your support. But if not, please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Thank you. So Virgo, your September monthly forecast begins with the Sun in your own sign. A great time to embrace your individuality, your talents, your flair, to reignite ongoing strands that are really important to you, or to start things fresh. Now, because the Sun is going to be forging an awesome link with Uranus in week 2, being more innovative or pushing out and being more daring could pay off handsomely. Now, one of the things that's going to help you is the fact that Mars is in a very assertive and self-confident part of your scope and will be through till next March. But it forges a really crisp and very helpful link with your ruling planet Mercury in the first 10 days. It's just that Mercury is in its shadow period at this stage. This is almost like a soft retrograde. The retrograde itself begins on the 10th. But if you can really use your natural skills of attention to detail, meticulousness, precision in a very bold way, that Mars position, along with the Sun's link with Uranus in week 2, can see you make awesome progress. It's just in order to do so, you may really have to prioritize, because one of your great instincts is to be of service to others. Now, because Saturn's in retrograde in your sector of work, physical health, and those obligations to others, and is being challenged by the erratic energies of Uranus, if you are finding that your attention is split or diverted away from what's really important to you, you could start to find that despite the opportunities, that you do feel rather weary, and that could see you losing focus. So one of the things that's going to be really important for you this month is about boundaries. And why that could be a little challenging is the role of Neptune. But by the 5th, Venus moves into your sign. And some of the concerns or thoughts or analysis that you've been doing around a romantic or relationship situation make way for an opportunity to refresh your personal identity or appearance. So a new look in some way may be something you embrace from the 5th, but this can attract somebody to you over the following week. So that's really exciting. It may even be more than one person who's beaten a path to your proverbial door. However, there is from the 10th to the 15th a rather tense angle between the Sun in your sign and that retreating Saturn. So that desire to be an individual could be compromised by that part of you that wants to do your best for others and not let them down. And all of this comes to the boil when Mercury goes into a retrograde on the 10th, and from that point it's really asking you to micromanage your financial transactions and your approach to resources in general. But also the full moon, which occurs on the 10th, emphasizes the 7th house of your situation, which is about relationships, but that's where you have Neptune. Now, despite the full moon forging a really useful link to Uranus, which asks us to think outside the box, by week 3, the Sun is fully in opposition with Neptune. And there could be some confusion around a relationship matter, or maybe you are really going to have to firm up those boundaries in order to not be deflected from what you need to do for yourself. However, if romance is something that is important to you this month and you do encounter somebody new and fresh, it's likely to really start to sparkle from the 17th through to the 22nd, and it could come about very, very quickly, which can be very exciting. Also, from the 16th through to the 22nd, there's a glorious link between the Sun in your sign and Pluto, the planet of change. Now, things can transform within us or around us in a physical sense when the Sun is in a trine with Pluto, but some kind of big change is possible at that time. Now, the 23rd sees the autumnal equinox. The Sun makes way from your sign into Libra, and for the next 13 weeks for us all, relationships really come to the centre of our focus. But in your case, I think it could be to do with how your values relate to those people that you're closely involved with, whether it's colleagues, neighbours, siblings, or even a partner. And also there's a Cassimi on the 23rd when your ruler Mercury comes into exact contact with the Sun. Now it's brief because Mercury then inverts back into your sign. It's possible around a financial matter that it might feel that something that you set out on earlier in the month may not quite flow quite as quickly as you would like, and it could get bogged down. But I think Mercury rewinding into your sign just asks you to check the detail on some of those newer plans that you're developing. And remember, Mercury retrograde doesn't have to be an absolutely awful experience. It just means that we need to make sure that we renew, we refresh, we revise, we make sure that we do all the things around our thinking to improve the productivity of our efforts. And your sign's very much to do with getting tangible results. You know, you're an earth sign, you like to keep things very pragmatic. So really that Mercury retrograde could see you just having to modulate or flex on one particular plan. Now on the 24th, there could be a magical moment in your love life or a bit of a confusing one. It just depends, as Venus is opposite Neptune. But in the last week of this month, there's a fantastic link between your ruler, despite its retrograde, and Pluto. If you really need to use your natural powers of analysis, you can surely do so with this aspect. It can help you to drill down into the detail with awesome clarity. Now the 25th sees a new moon, and this new moon can genuinely be quite fortunate for you. So over the next couple of weeks, even if you have found that one financial situation was slowed down or blocked or didn't work out quite as you expected, there's an opportunity to gain from the fact that the new moon is opposite Jupiter, the planet of fortune, which may be in retrograde, but it could be some kind of connection you have with someone else that could prove to be serendipitous for you. Also, Venus moves out of your sign on the 29th, and when Venus goes into the second house, it almost always triggers some kind of extra improvement in our cash flow. Also, in the last 10 days of this month, Mars, which is in that impressive location for you through till next spring, well, that forges a really solid workman-like angle with Saturn. So despite the fact that Saturn does cause some tension, frustration and abrasion in its right angle with Uranus, it can redeem itself in the latter part of this month when your penchant for hard work, discipline, going through the processes in a very thorough and detailed and systematic way can actually see you gain a prize even if something else makes way in this month. But I think around your relationship situation, those boundaries and finding a fairer balance between where you give and get are going to be big themes this September. It's been a pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.